Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name's Carmen, and today we're going to do a reading for family. That could mean a family of 2 people or a family of 8 people. Whatever means family to you, that's what this is for. We'll have a little wind chime time to call in spirit. And today we're going to start with the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks, and we'll use that to, sorry, a little choked up. I didn't mean to. We'll use that to identify the energies that we have in today's reading. It can be, because it's family, it can be more representative of a group, but in general, I like to identify individuals. All right, so the first card we've got is the Page of Pentacles. So this can mean working towards a goal. Or also like a younger person. And then we've got Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is not a very fun place to be. That's feeling betrayed. Like as betrayed as you can feel. And then we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse. I love this card. It's a beautiful card, and Queen of Swords sometimes gets a bad reputation in terms of maybe being a little bit harsh or quick to cut people out, but I respect her love of boundaries, and sorry, we had her in the reverse. And yet, if we're talking about a Queen of Swords in the reverse, this is going to be somebody who's prone to using their intellect to manipulate other people or to hide things that they do. They can be vindictive, so it's really taking that idea of boundaries to the more like offense side of things versus defense. All right, and for the masculine energy, we've got the King of Wands. We've got the King of Wands coming out with the Fool. It feels to me like this is somebody who starts things and maybe ends things rather quickly. Wands can be a kind of flighty energy or disloyal. This can be a very attractive man or have a lot of people that are interested in him. And with the Fool coming out with it, I would say it's pretty likely that this King of Wands is embarking on a new adventure. Whether or not that's in love or career, we'll find out. As far as hidden energies, we have the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords. It's got affair written all over it. If we're talking about Seven of Swords, we're talking about somebody who's been deceitful. Three of Swords, I mean, the art can pretty much speak for itself. That's really doing the worst to somebody that you love. So I think we've got, sorry, those were hidden energies. I think we've got a pretty clear understanding of why it's King of Wands. And then we've got Eight of Swords and the Hermit. So somebody was previously feeling like they didn't know what was going on. In the Rider-Waite, this is depicted as a woman with a blindfold standing in front of 8 swords. And what that feels like, I mean, who's ever actually been in that position, but it's not a good feeling. So if we had the hidden energy of infidelity, this is pretty likely, with it being in the reverse, saying that there wasn't really any remorse on the King of Wands' behalf, and he didn't learn his lesson. The Hermit was in reverse as well, so there wasn't really an interest in growing from the situation. He just accepted himself for the flaws and everything. So we'll use the Edgar Allan Poe here for a little bit more clarification before we move on to the Golden Art Nouveau. We've got the Ace of Swords coming out. I like that it's in the upright because that means that we've got honesty or truth or clarity. If there has been a lack of that, expect it soon, but with it showing up at this point in the reading, I would imagine that means you already have that knowledge if you're the Queen of Swords in reverse here. Especially because being the Queen of Swords of reverse, or in the reverse, it's pretty likely that you're very angry, and that would be a pretty justifiable reason to be so angry and have those boundaries. All right, so the Seven of Swords actually did come out. So the fact that it's next to the Ace of Swords, I feel like to me that means that the truth did not come from this King of Wands. In other words, he didn't come clean and tell you what happened. He was called out by somebody else. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, but in the reverse. And if you've been watching tarot, you know that the Nine of Pentacles is somebody who's independent. They've got everything that they need all on their own. And if this is in the reverse and it's next to the Seven of Swords, I'm going to guess that financial reasons were what was behind the dishonesty. In other words, this King of Wands likely didn't feel like he could pay for everything on his own, so he wanted to be dishonest with this Queen of Swords about his infidelity because he didn't want to separate. Tell me more about this Queen of Swords, please. So we had quite a few fall out. I'm just going to look at them, but I'm just going to keep the top ones. So we've got the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is being up at night, worrying about something, unable to sleep, obviously, mind racing, that kind of thing. And then behind that one, a little glimpse into more, we've got the Six of Cups, the Empress, the Knight of Swords, and the Seven of Cups in reverse. All right, so this to me is saying this Queen of Swords, you probably, definitely a loving, genuine, alluring, intelligent, you've got it going on, right? And you've got a lot of good memories with this masculine. But this masculine, he's got the Seven of Cups in the reverse and the Knight of Swords. Do you see how there's a shovel in the background? For whatever reason, this card in particular in this deck speaks to guilt for me, and that Knight of Swords is kind of like a shocking revelation, right? So somebody that you expected to be doing right by you was not, and you found that out rather quickly. The Seven of Cups in reverse to me is kind of coming out more with a negative connotation than normal. Usually I would look at that as somebody who is saying, this is my person, I don't have any other options, I wouldn't choose anyone else. To me, this is more like almost coming out as like an ownership kind of thing. Like they weren't willing to let go of what they had with this Empress, even though they were also unwilling to offer commitment to that Empress. And then from this pile, I'll take the Ten of Pentacles. That just comes off as clarification or validation, rather, of the idea that there was a pretty happy or content life here in terms of maybe you had, you know, a house together or a great place, cat, dog, baby, whatever it is, there was a happy life here that this masculine was unwilling to give up. Behind that, we've got Eight of Wands in the upright, and then every other card is in the reverse. Eight of Wands is going to speak to messages. It can speak to rapid action, but this card in this deck particularly, because of all of the birds, and of course Edgar Allan Poe making me think of birds anyways, I would definitely say this is more about a message coming in. So this message would have been about, all right, we've got Seven of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and Ace of Pentacles, all in the reverse. So someone didn't get what they were working for or keep what they were trying to keep. Yeah, that's just kind of underscoring what was said earlier, right? So it's, not really fair to want to keep one thing when you're trying to build with other people or using other people. Hidden energies, we've got the Emperor and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands can have a connotation of being a woman that's willing to use her sexuality to have, financial gain or to manipulate a situation. So if there's a hidden energy of a Queen of Wands hiding behind the Emperor, to me this is a controlling person that was hiding a mistress. Let's get one more card, please. And then we've got Temperance in the reverse, telling me there was not a balance in this relationship. There was more that was being given to this King of Wands than he was returning. All right, so we'll move to the Golden Art Nouveau and get some additional information here. I want to know So we had the Eight of Wands as a hidden, or I think it was the bigger group actually. And here it is again. So this is going to speak to communications coming in. And it's going to be about a Queen of Cups in the reverse. This is giving me vibes of an overly emotional woman. Probably because we've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So she's getting some bad karma. This might be the Queen of Wands energy. So we've got Five of Pentacles and Six of Pentacles. Kind of a nice progression there, but we're talking about being left in the cold and equal give and take. So to me, that's saying the reason for this King of Wands being turned out into the cold is that he was not willing to do his end of the bargain. He wasn't willing to contribute what he could contribute. And then we've got the World in reverse. I think that's just an exclamation point on the bad karma that these, probably both of them are experiencing, right? So the Queen of Wands and the Emperor, or the King of Wands, I'd rather call him. Let's see. What else can you tell us about? Every time I try to ask a question and they're like, no, I got you. I was going to say, what can you tell us about the Queen of Swords? What's, ahead? The Fool. What a great card. So this is talking about a new beginning. Okay, so there's obviously some not fun shit here behind you, but you got to keep focused on what's ahead of you because there's there's sunshine, right? Oh my gosh, you guys. 10 of Cups. I told you. Blessings. So remember that you encounter people in your life that have an influence on it for a reason, right? They're going to teach you something. You probably also teach them something. So take to heart and take a moment to really reflect on what you've learned in this relationship and adjust accordingly. Obviously, there were boundaries that needed to be in place here. Obviously, there was dishonesty. But with showing up as the Queen of Swords in the reverse, we are probably just a little bit too much on the go away side of the spectrum. So you don't want to miss out on this 10 of Cups by being, avoidant of people or assuming everybody is going to be the exact same, because there actually are good people out there, right? Aren't you one of them? So if you want that 10 of Cups, you have to be remembering that boundaries are good, but you also want to be open to the possibility of something good happening, because if you focus too much on how it won't happen, it won't happen. Ooh, hidden energy. I don't want to spoil the surprise for you guys, but 6 of Wands means victory. So if you have that open mind and you're willing to invest in something, I would guess, altogether new, then you'll have victory. Now, there's another way to read this, okay? And this is a family reading after all. We have the 10 of Cups here, and it's right next to the Fool. So for some of you, there's a chance that there's dramatic change from this masculine, this King of Wands that's been in your life. You need to use your discernment to make sure that that's actual change. See what kind of behavior patterns there are over a period of time, communicate effectively, really suss out whether or not that's a possibility. For some of you, it is. For the larger, majority of you, you're going to have this 10 of Cups with a brand new person. You just need to be open to it. Let's get just a little bit of insight into this 10 of Cups here with the Everyday Tarot. All right, so we've got 2 of Cups and 6 of Wands. These came out in the reverse, and what I heard is perception. So I want to say that this 10 of Cups is going to be with maybe somebody that you wouldn't normally pursue, or it could even be somebody from your past, the one that got away, for example. Hidden energy is the 9 of Swords. So with that, it seems more likely to me that this is somebody from your past. It could be literally, someone you didn't have a chance to date, someone that got away. But with the 6 of Wands here, there was definitely a failure of some sort in the past. All right. And that could have been due to external influence. So perhaps there was a family member, like a mother or a best friend, that didn't approve of the relationship. And they maybe lied about you or told the truth if there was something negative that happened. We've got 5 of Wands and Page of Wands in the reverse. And then the Fool. So I think there was an ending here that was brought on by outside influences. It could also have been that someone was just a little too young, wasn't ready to settle down, and their buddies were, hey, we're at college. Let's chill. And then we've got the Ace of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune. So there was some negative impact or some bad karma from not being honest. It's likely that this masculine was not honest with you about how they felt or what was going on. They might have ghosted you. All right, so we've got the Three of Cups coming out. Oops. And that's going to tie in nicely with the Six of Wands, which means victory, because these are three people that are celebrating. Why are we celebrating? Oh my. All right. All right, so for some of you, we've got a possible pregnancy. See how she's obviously expecting a child. And for others of you, I think it's just going to be really good sex. And it's going to feel like, it's going to feel like justice because, you know, it was something that you thought about, probably they thought about. And then we have the Sun. Happiest card in the deck. So, whether or not this is the past lover from the earlier part of the reading, the King of Wands, getting his shit together, or somebody else from your past, possibly, we've got somebody delivering some justice here and some happiness, celebrating a victory. So whatever struggles you've been through, just take some time, take a breather, maybe take a nice little bath, write down what you've learned, whatever it is that helps you process, and then be ready and be open to something great. What a great message. That's our family message for today. Thank you again for any likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. And feel free to find me on Instagram at Wicked Wands Tarot. Thanks. Have a great day.